Hello and welcome to another live stream. Thank you very much for coming along. Let's see who we've got in the room as per normal. Boo Rider, Jason Searle, evening. New Biker, see you in a minute. Harley Throttle Juice, all the way from Australia. Great to have you here, Roger. Thanks for coming along. Paul Clark, Grey Wolf, and Paul Egan. Hopefully I've spelt your name right there. How are you all doing, guys? You're all out riding still? Hasn't really been the weather over here, is it, for riding on a bike? I certainly haven't. As you can see, I've got the Hero, Sinus Hero next to me here, 125. I managed to get to Exeter High Street and get some shots in, get some photos. Hi, Jamie. Sussex Biker. Lover of you. You're 6 hours behind us, I believe, aren't you? Is it 2 o'clock over where you are in the US, I do believe. Yeah, so it's all been it's been really difficult to get out at the moment, to be honest. For me, it's been icy or absolutely chucking it down with rain. So I took the Sinus out, but I've still got the Motomarini C Mezzo, I believe it's called. If I can find the picture for it. I've got so many pictures in here now, it's unbelievable. This one here, I've got that little beauty, which I haven't actually been able to take it out yet because as you can see, it's in perfect condition there. And I like to try and get some photos of it before I actually ride the bikes. But again, it hasn't been the weather, so it's just been stuck in the garage. But I've still got it for another 2 or 3 weeks anyway. So all good there. So who else have we got in the ring? With Jim Sadler. Hi, Jim. Crafty Poncho, great to have you along. Thanks for coming in and saying hello. How many have we got? 27 on at the moment. So that's pretty good. I've got 1 like on Facebook. This will be going out as a podcast as well. So I always try and keep the swearing out of it as much as I can, purely because if it's a podcast, I want people to be able to listen to it anywhere. I myself, I listen to podcasts. I listen to Teapot One, for example. And sometimes if I'm in a customer's house and there's a lot of swearing, it just makes it a little bit more complicated. So believe me, if you met me in real life, as my friends tell you, I swear like a trooper. But when it's on here, it's a little bit different. Hi, Curious Goose. Smith's still on 2 wheels. Great. Thanks for coming along. Right, let's drag some of the boys in. I think we'll get the normal team in. New Biker, Saddlebag 73, and Epic Adam. How you doing, boys?
Yeah, all right, thank you.
All good, thank you.
Good.
All good.
You got a bit of a code at the moment, Adam, haven't you?
Yeah, I do. Did I tell you that?
Yeah, I think it come through the WhatsApp message, I think.
Oh, yeah, I'm struggling.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I appreciate having you here. We haven't got Phil tonight, Western Supermotor Vlogs. He's had a birthday recently, a big 50th. So
that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's typical, isn't it? Never mind.
I try to avoid them.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I'm the same, mate. I've got mine in February, so yeah, you're all invited to the party. You're the only friends I've got, that's why.
Oh, it's coming up, is it?
Yeah,
when is it?
10th of February. Yeah, big 46. Another 20 years, you'll be there, Adam.
46.
No, I'm 37 at the moment. Already planning my 40th.
37. Right. What are you going to do for that then?
We're planning on going somewhere in the US. So, group of us.
Oh, is that the one you're going to California and then Utah?
Possibly. Don't know yet. It's 2 years away, so a lot can change.
Yeah. Right. We've got Uncle Longbeard coming in tonight. I think we'll just pull him straight in. Hello, Uncle.
Hello.
Thanks for coming along. Much appreciated.
Yeah, glad to see you.
I'll let you introduce yourself and what bike you have and your channel. What bike have you got?
I've got 5 bikes, actually. The main one recently is the BMW Urban GS. That's the one I ride the most recently.
That's your daily.
Well, yes, if you can say that right now. I'm not
Yeah.
riding at the moment because it's too cold and miserable.
Yeah, it's a bit, isn't it? Yeah. So so have you been out recently? You still out filming, are you, or are you struggling to get out at the moment?
Well, I was just in a pub today meeting with a few mates of mine. Just one person was on the bike, and it was the Enfield Himalayan. Other than that, no one's riding, it looks like.
Yeah. I think that's right, actually. Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. In fact, everybody's got, you've got one. Neeb Saddlebags has got one now. You've got one as well, Epic Adam, haven't you?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, all got one. So let's have a look at your BMW. So, hey, that's not your particular bike. I just pulled that off the internet. But,
Yeah.
why did you want to buy that bike again, just out of interest?
That's a difficult question.
It's a long story aspect to this.
Well, this bike is just cool. I always liked it. It's just weird, and I like weird things. Straight away, I saw it. It looks like, the LEGS from the 80s or something, with a big of the new spice. And I thought it's cool. It's weird, and I liked it. And I thought I wanted to check. I want to check the bike, and I want to test ride it. And when I did, I was simply sold.
You were hooked on it. Yeah. I tried that bike back in I think it was 2018 when I tried it, when it first came out. It's basic, isn't it? Certainly for a BMW, it's quite basic, but it's really fun as well. And that's the good thing about it, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not too many electronics.
Well, basically, I love just the simple bikes. I hate all the complicated things and all the modern bikes. All my bikes were always simple, just two wheels, engine, and all that stuff. And here we go. This one is no different, except it's faster and more fun.
Yes. Yeah. They've got a lot of power in them, haven't they?
Yeah, I would say enough for me, that's for sure.
Yeah. And where did it all start for you then? Because obviously you're not from here, are you? You got an accent there.
Yeah, well, I started riding bikes back in days in Poland 30 years ago.
Yeah.
In Poland when I was like teenager, 17 years old. 30 years ago. Yeah, 31 years ago now. Bloody hell.
Soon goes.
So when I was 17 years old, I bought my first bike, which was absolutely rubbish. It was similar to BSA Bantam. And
was that the MZ?
That was Polish WSK, which is.
You didn't send me a photo of that one, did you?
No. It's not worth mentioning even.
I'm looking at all these photos here. I'm trying to get ready.
That one I had for half a year, and I sold it, and I bought first one, which I built chopper out of it. And
there you go. That one.
Yes, that one exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. I got something right. So what engine was in that then?
That one is a Polish Unak. It's similar. It's 350 4-stroke, so it's similar in construction to some BSAs and other bikes, British bikes, basically.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah. It was a lovely bike, except totally unreliable.
Oh, was it? Right.
Yeah, it was terrible. However, it was really cool.
Yeah. And did you say you built that one? Is that the one that you built?
Yeah. I bought it in pieces, and then I made the longer swing arm. I changed the rear fender and a few other bits and bobs, re-chromed it, and so I made it look like a Harley.
Wow.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah. So are you quite good on the spanners then, on mechanics and things?
Yeah, I got few jobs in my life, and just by the school I finished the Automotive college. That was the first school, and then I am mechanical engineer.
Oh, right. That's interesting.
Yeah, so
excellent. Did you do much touring on that as well, or was it just around town?
On that bike, I did, I believe, just 5,000 miles, and I surrendered.
That's a bit like the C90ish that Adam's got. I think you're going to surrender after about 2 miles, aren't you, Adam?
Yeah, probably. I'm ready to spell it.
Have you seen Adam's bike, Uncle?
I seen some, but I don't remember recently what
There
actually.
you go.
Oh, that one. Really cool one. Yeah.
That's what you call custom.
Yeah. Well, it is. Yes, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess you haven't been out on that one recently, Adam, have you?
No, I haven't. I did try the other day, but I've left it around my brother's house and I couldn't get into his house.
Oh,
But I was in the mood to ride it and it just didn't happen. I couldn't get in.
couldn't
I've
get
got
in.
some
Yeah.
keys.
Noob and Saddle, have you ever been tempted with the custom scene? It's not something that's ever triggered for me, but
I fancied building a cafe racer, but I don't think I'll ever get around to it.
right. Yeah.
I'm not at all good with the spanners. Like I keep saying, the first question I always ask is, can I fix it with a hammer? But I do like some of the custom bikes that I see around. And I went to the bike shed London show last year, where they had a lot of the custom bikes there, and some of them were very, very nice.
Yeah. Mm.
Some of them were
They take-
ridiculously overdone, and some of them were like totally pointless. But I guess that's half the fun, right?
Yeah. Thing is, it takes a lot of time and a lot of patience and a lot of money to do a good job, a proper job on a bike, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. It does.
And we've all been to the shows. I'm not going to point anyone out here, but we've all been to the shows like the Bideford bike shows, and some of them you look at, you think you should have just left it alone.
That'll be my T90 next year or this year.
Sorry, mate. Say it again.
That'd be my T90.
That's the thing about bikes, right? Because you think you should have left it alone, but it's somebody's passion. It is what they enjoy. So who am I to say you shouldn't have done it? It's like, it's not for me, but you clearly like it. Excellent, good for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's personal, isn't it? A bike is personal to everybody, isn't it? So, yeah, and you have to start somewhere, don't you? You have to make it do a few bodges to get things right. But yeah, I mean, speaking of Phil, actually, Phil's been on his Daytona, hasn't he? He's had a few issues with that, or a fuel pump issue. But he's pretty good. He's a mechanic anyway, isn't he, to a level? So I think he should be able to sort that out pretty easily. But so, Sado, if you had your choice, then how would you start your custom bike? What would it start as? A 4-pot engine or a V-twin, or what's the ideal situation there?
Oh, I don't know. I love V-twins. There's something about a V-twin. I don't know. 4-pots are easier to work on. I think more readily available.
Yeah,
more choice than me to start with. But yeah, I don't really know.
No.
I'll tell you a bike.
Sorry, mate, carry on.
So a bike that I missed from my past, a silly little thing, really, a GPZ 550.
Oh yes,
it was a great little bike. I wouldn't mind playing around with one of those.
Yeah. Pick one up on eBay and tight it up and get it going again.
But I think if I spent that much time and money customizing a bike, I'd be frightened to ride it.
Yeah, get it dirty. Yeah. It's funny, isn't it, that the V-twins seem to be on their way out these days, such as the V-Strom 650. They're stopping making that now, and they've got the new 800 coming out, which is a parallel twin.
I don't know if they're struggling with the emissions and all that, are they?
I guess so. I think that's part of it, but I would imagine that they are cheaper to make, aren't they, parallel twins?
Yeah, basically the accountants took over, so that's what it is.
Yeah, and I expect most of you guys know that a V-twin, you get a different sort of power from it, don't you? You get less with a parallel twin when you get to low revs and you open it up and it's struggling a bit, it really sort of thumps and shudders, but a V-twin just tends to keep plodding on, doesn't it?
Yeah, less power on the top, a bit more torque on the down, and it goes.
Yeah.
It's just
but it would be more expensive to make because you've got two heads and two valve things to do, isn't it?
Yeah, that's for sure. And people want to buy cheap things nowadays, I guess. So yeah, there is this strong competition right now between cheap bikes like Royal Enfield and BSA now, or Mahindra, I should say, rather than BSA.
Or Morini.
Yes. that's a cheap bike right now as well. But really cool one. Yeah, that's interesting what's going on, because for quite some time the only bikes you could buy were quite expensive.
Yeah. I mean, you think just over the last sort of 10 years, it was the big four, and that was pretty much it, really, wasn't it? Whereas now, like you say, you've got all these other ones popping up out of nowhere. And dare I say it, China is starting to come in with some pretty damn good bikes now.
Yeah, exactly. Some really good. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, that's a perfect example. That's a Chinese-made bike.
It is,
and it's amazing. It's got Brembo brakes, adjustable front forks, adjustable on the rear. There's a lot to be said for it. And I'm looking at it thinking, I'm trying to pick photos of it, but actually it really is a nice-looking bike.
It is a good bike, yeah.
Actually, Exeter. Just what's that? Looks like a scoop just in front of the where the rear brake is, the rear brake lever.
Yes.
Just in front of it, there's like a scoop. Is that like some kind of intake or
no intake? To my knowledge, I think it is just there for aesthetics. Basically, it just hides that bottom end of the exhaust and makes it look nicer.
Okay.
Because when you've got you've probably got the cat underneath there as well, which is probably a big box underneath. And a lot of companies, like it was at Honda or whatever, you see the big cat underneath, but with that, it just blanks it off and makes it look a bit nicer.
Okay. So it's just for aesthetics. Very nice.
Yeah, it is nice. Yeah, I mean, I've ridden it around the block, but that's as much as I've been able to do at the moment. Because as I say, I don't want to get it too dirty before I take the nice photos. So, hopefully I'll be able to do a bit more on it this week, but we'll see what the weather's like, really.
The Chinese bikes are where Japanese bikes were 40 years ago, aren't they?
Yeah.
That was all written off.
They have the engines from Japanese bikes from about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I hear that this Moto Morini, I don't know how true this is and how to what level, but I hear that's from an ER6 engine.
That's what
it's similar to Kawasaki Versys and then that 600 series. Looks similar.
Yeah, it does. But I think sometimes, a lot of Chinese bikes just have to tweak it just a little bit, and then that's how they make it their own, don't they? So I think there's some sort of licensing that the other companies can sell to the Chinese. They tweak it and then make it their own, and then it's a good selling point, to be honest with you, isn't it? If they say that it's basically a Kawasaki engine. Same as Moto. What's the other one? Moto? CF Moto. A lot of their stuff is Kawasaki, apparently. So,
they just need to prove that they are reliable and they are using slightly better materials. But if you look, let's say, at the smartphones, many years ago, everyone was thinking like, oh, just Nokia and Sony Ericsson, they are good phones. And now you've got Huawei, which even with American ban, it's still doing good. And it's really good phone, actually. So,
yes. To be honest, I think it's difficult times for people who did just used to sell the big four. They've got to, not pull their socks up is the wrong word, but they have to be a bit more careful than what they used to be when they had it sewn up.
Yeah. Oh, they need to introduce something new.
Because some of the manufacturers, the more traditional ones, are going for the more traditional owner, the guys who are maybe like us, a little bit older, maybe have got a little bit more money to spend. And what these Chinese companies and Royal Enfield and BSA are doing is saying, well, maybe you don't have so much money, or maybe I can go after the guys who are just getting onto motorcycling. So Benelli and Morini can say, if you're just coming on to biking, maybe you want something a little bit better than a Cinis or a Lex Moto. Come for this, and it's nice to have the whole range of consumers kind of addressed and something for everyone.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's why actually Harley Davidson is losing recently, because they've got just a bunch of old guys who are riding Harleys, and they suffer because they don't have younger clients.
Yes. Yeah. And I think quite often a lot of the manufacturers, such as Harley, they're running before they can walk with the electronics as well.
Yeah.
Because if there's anything that's going to go wrong in a bike these days, it's going to be electronics, generally speaking. And as we all know, if something goes wrong in a Royal Enfield, you can normally pinpoint what it is. If it's something electronic, then game over.
Well, Royal Enfield is like one of the things I found really funny is if you actually open the owner's manual of a Royal Enfield, it's got a full wiring diagram in there.
Oh, is it?
Like, how many bikes can you buy these days where the owner's manual gives you the full wiring diagram?
Yeah.
For? Not that I know what to do with it, but it's there.
But it looks nice. It's a nice picture. Yeah.
Ooh, look, the wiring diagram. What's that? No idea.
Yeah, that's it. So, Uncle, going on to your other bikes, then, what else did you? What was your bike after that one? And I'll see if I've got the pictures of them. So go nice and slow.
Yeah, just before after. No, hold on. Let's go the other way. You're asking what's happening after that Polish Eunuch, which I've got. Then I've got the Russian Ural, which was the same sort of, that was a copycat of BMWs from the 60s. You probably have one. No, this is Royal Enfield.
No, sorry.
Sidecar.
Jumping the gun.
Yeah, there should be green one, or maybe there was one reddish somewhere there. And a bunch of pictures. No. That's still there should be somewhere, maybe not.
No, I don't think I've got that one. But anyway, carry on.
Yeah, the Russian Ural, it was way better than Polish Eunuch because it was copy of BMW basically, and that's the only reason, because the parts quality and the build quality in general was terribly bad. It was, unbelievably bad. Talking about that, Chinese products and Royal Enfield, even at the worst time, they were actually brilliant compared to the Russian quality. So I can't say much of good things about that bike, other than it was simple and easy to repair.
Yeah.
And thanks to that, I did 20,000 miles on that bike, and then I sold it and I bought a Japanese bike, which was in terrible condition, so it was like a lemon, and here you go.
I had a lot of luck then.
Yeah, that was quite a long story. I bought the Triumph a few years later. I bought the one of the first new Triumph Bonnevilles, but with intention of building a chopper out of it.
Right.
You should have the picture of one custom bike with the handmade frame and all that nonsense.
Right.
Not finished. One which wasn't finished.
The problem I've got is that the pictures are about 15 millimeters square.
Okay.
So I cannot, I'm struggling to see what's what. I'm just going to go through them.
Yeah.
That's the MZ, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the MZ, which I've got for 1 year as well. Oh, that one in the middle was my Ural.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, so I had a sidecar. But I'm surprised that you said that wasn't very good. Wasn't very well made, actually. I thought they would be.
It was terrible.
And when you say it went wrong, what happened with it?
Well, few problems which I've got when I was riding it. Once, I was on a bike rally. It was in the middle of the 90s, and when we all got drunk down there, we started the bikes somewhere like midnight or something like that, and we started wearing up the bikes. Unfortunately for me, the valve springs got softer, so the pistons inside the engine met with the valves.
Oh no!
Yeah, so basically, all of a sudden there was like big bang in the engine, and what was weird, in the morning the bike started with some problems, but it started, and I went back home on this bike, even it was running on one cylinder, and And weirdly, though, it was working on the cylinder, which was really badly fucked up. So here you go. So that's the Russian technology.
How did you get over that then? How did you? Was it an engine rebuild, or was it?
No, it was relatively simple. It was going back home, replacing 4 valves, actually, valve springs, and job done. And
all right,
after 2 hours, ready to go again. So it was that simple with those bikes. Then what was the problem? I had another problem, that clutch actually disintegrated, but it didn't stop working as a normal clutch would do. But actually, it started having this sort of weird noises. I don't remember exactly the exact words, and that's the problem with translation if you are not using those words. When one piece of the clutch was connected to another one, but it started to have this sort of movement, and it was giving the loud banging noises inside the engine. Otherwise, the clutch was working perfectly well. So I had to replace it just because, of that quality of that
So
part.
it was just like a Ducati then, just making a lot of noise from the clutch.
Yeah. Well, another thing which happened in that bike, in my gearbox, all the gears started to be like that.
Right.
So it's like when you've got, let's say, a chain, and sometimes you are not oiling your chain, and then all of a sudden your rear sprocket looks like that. All the
shark's teeth
looks like that. Yeah, almost gone. So that's how my gearbox looked like, because it was made probably out of carrot or something. I don't know what material they used for the gears inside, but for sure that wasn't proper steel.
Yeah. Just quickly going back to the Chinese bikes, one thing I have noticed actually is that as much as I still think that the Chinese bikes are pretty good, I do notice that the metal that they use, I know people call it Chinesium, don't they? But the lot of the metals that they use is quite soft. It's not a dense sort of metal. I mean, I'm no expert, but that's one thing I have noticed. But anyway, carry on.
I can tell you that the Royal Enfield handlebars are not made of very strong metal.
No.
Yeah. Well, in Russia, there was saying, it wasn't necessarily in Russia, but all the people in the blog were saying that Russian technology is called gniotsa, nie łamiotsa, which basically means that things are bending rather than breaking. So everything is so soft that it's bending and not breaking.
Yes. Yeah.
So I guess, they sold that technology to China probably right now, and here we are.
Yeah, I'll be getting that soon then in the garage, I expect, for a test run. And you done 20,000 miles on this Euro, did you say?
Yep. I did.
See, I would have done 5 and had a few of those problems and thought, right, that's it, it's gone.
Well, we had no choice, that there was a beginning of the 90s, to be honest with you. What was going on in Poland, it was just early capitalism which entered Poland, and we had no money. You couldn't just go to the shop and buy a new bike unless you were some sort of, I don't know, president or someone like that. Other than that, no one had money. And those were the only bike which were available to us, so we were just buying them, customizing them, not because we wanted to do that, actually, sometimes because we have to do it, because that was the only way to have a rideable bike. And at the end of 90s, I think that most people actually jumped into the Japanese bikes.
Oh yeah.
So, that's what happened.
I guess you might look at those times. I mean, I look back at times when I, again, early 90s really, where I didn't have a lot of money coming in. But they're sometimes the best times, aren't they? Because you make the most of what you've got. Do you find that? Do you look back on it fondly with the bikes that you had back then?
Yeah, sometimes yes, but not very much.
Swings and roundabouts, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure it was fun, and I was young, and those days were
carefree.
For sure
fun.
Yeah.
What happened after that then? Where does the MZ come into it?
Well, I had a motorcycle shop and a garage with a friend of mine who is not my friend anymore, and we had it together. And after a year or 2 years, we went into bankruptcy almost. So I had no money left and everything went wrong. So I had to make the decision about I have almost to sell everything I've got at the moment. And I was left with just a few £100, to be honest with you. And I thought, can I still afford a motorcycle? And I said, of course. Of course, and I bought myself the old MZ, and that's the story of that bike.
Oh yeah.
But that one was really reliable, and to be honest, good bike. Except, well,
I do remember MZ back in the probably mid 80s but I don't know much about them. Where are they made to?
They were made in the eastern Germany, but the factory which was actually making those, I believe it was DKW, and it
Okay.
was really famous company before and in the Second World War, because Germany has got two type of motorcycle. One was big BMWs, and also they had two-stroke DKWs. And those were even the BSA Bantam construction is coming from Germany, actually, from that bike, the old DKW 125, I believe.
Were they linked in any way with Moto Guzzi? Or am I?
No.
I know they used to sell them in the same shop, so I'm not sure if they were linked.
No, they had some links with. There was another company, or maybe I'm messing right now. No, I believe they were in the same factory as DKW, and also there was another company, but I can mess up something, so I don't want to say too much.
No, that's fine.
There was another company, NSU, which was also. I think they've got something in common.
Right. Excellent. Okay, so we've gone to the MZ. Hello, Flat Cap Racer. You know what? I'm going to look at the comments, actually. I'm trying to keep the conversation going, but I do neglect the comments, and I do realise that. Hello, Flat Cap. I saw a part of your video tonight. I'll watch the rest of it a bit later.
Cheers,
Nitro
guys.
Rory, hello. Yeah, you love two strokes. MZ are cool. Yeah. My first bike was a Barjar found in the barn. That was Tom STC. Love review. Simon says thumbs up, please. Yeah, if you could all give it a thumbs up, that would be super duper. Any other comments that anyone's seen that I'm missing? Yeah. Right, anyway, we'll carry on for a minute. But yeah, I'll have a look at the comments. I'll try and flag these up now. Sorry about that, folks. I do try to keep up with the comments, but it is difficult. Anyway.
I see Flat Cat's just released his sort of history video, hasn't he? I'm looking forward to that.
Yes.
Because he's got quite an extensive motorcycling history, that guy.
Who's that?
He's a very interesting bloke. Did you see a series of different channels that he put up as well? Yeah, we were in that, actually, weren't we? Yeah, that was quite good, that. I'm looking forward to that later. But how are you guys getting on filming at the moment? It's really difficult getting out to film, isn't it?
I managed to get out today. Yeah,
is that the one that you put up tonight?
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah, it's good, that.
Yeah. The weather's been quite nice here, actually.
Is
It's been sunny, it's been cold, but it hasn't been snowy, so it's been all right.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I'm not filming anything. I've got still some materials which I didn't publish yet. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah. And Saturday, you're still getting out, aren't you?
Well, until this weekend. I went out yesterday and I filmed a video on foot.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. That'll be different.
Yeah. You always pull it off. Noob, you still getting out?
No, I'm afraid
been busy, but
no, I went out last weekend, and then after that, since Monday, I've been on the tube. I was out all this weekend, but I was out on the car with the missus because she doesn't ride and she doesn't go pillion. And yeah, I wouldn't want to. There's ice everywhere. After my little moment last year on ice, I decided that discretion is the better part of valor. So. I'm not going out on the ice.
I need to learn that one. I have now, actually. Right, to see
Friday was the first day I couldn't ride to work for about 3 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was lethal.
Yeah, just the ice. Oh, yeah. Because I must admit, sometimes I see you go out saddle and you still go out in some fairly dicey conditions, don't you?
Yeah, it's got to be quite bad. It's my only means of transport, so
yeah, no, it's fair enough. Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, that's good. Right, let's catch up with some of the comments. Notice there's no foul language disclaimer here. Only civilized conversation. I don't belong. That's true. The only reason I don't really do swearing, even though Uncle's already put an end to that, I can edit that bit out for the podcast. Is purely because of the podcast. As I say, I just try and keep it swear free, so you can anyone can listen to the podcast anywhere in front of kids or whatever. So that's the only reason, really. Anybody out this time of year? Brave, yeah. Right.
Grey Wolf says rhythmic sport a rally wisp.
And modded it, yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys actually know? I know what he's got. What bike he's got? I think.
I don't know.
I think I do.
I was speculating. Everybody seems to think it's a ZZR.
Or a GTR, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what I think it is, because on the video you could see where the little vents were on the tank. So.
He's far too young and good looking for a GTR.
Right, what I'm going to do, guys, and if it's okay with Uncle, I've taken a snippet, 2 minutes out of your recent video. You right with me playing that? Is that all right?
Sure.
You sure? Yeah. The only reason I ask, I know I've said that I might do that anyway, but I'd rather just check it, really. But a reason I want to show people this, they can see your style. I really like the way that you do jump cuts to each of the different parts of the film. So it works really well. So we got 2 minutes watching this. It's the beginning of one of your videos.
Morning, gents. And that's 0.2% of ladies as well, of course. This is Uncle speaking, and welcome to another part of our quest for the holy beer. In previous episode, we left Dartmoor just to visit Tintagel, and right now we are heading up east, and we hope to see some nice places. The first one, which is here, we hope that it will be able to go to the port up there, but too many tourists, so we had to quit this idea. I don't think we should be on that road really. But anyway, there is loads in front of us for today, and you will see that. Yes, we hoped for the lovely views. Instead, we've got lovely bushes everywhere. Brilliant, isn't it? But hopefully behind that corner? Nah, bloody hell. But finally, look at that. Not that bike. And not that bushes either. Bloody hell. Not again. Yeah, I mean that. That's quite a view, eh? Oh yes, that is what we hoped for. The road is not too shabby either. Thanks to Mr. Saddleback73 for sharing that route with me. Otherwise I wouldn't be here right now. But never mind that, because we arrived at the spot I planned to visit. So let's stop and take a closer look.
There you go.
Yeah.
I love the way that you overdub the voice and the bit of humour as well. It's something that you're really quite unique at, really quite good at as well, I think. So well done.
I'm trying to do my best.
Doing great. Honestly.
Well, my daughter is saying that I'm boring. So, well.
See one of my videos. Whereabouts was that? Anyway, whereabouts was the beach there? It's quite nice.
Well,
Saddle's been there a few times, haven't you?
Somewhere in Cornwall.
Yeah.
Did you actually get to the town called Beer? There's a town called Beer. I think it's
yes, I was there, but it was 3 years ago.
That's in Devon, Beer.
Yeah.
I think it is
Yeah.
somewhere there. Well, that one here, it was basically on from. I started this day, I remember, from Tintagel, and we were going down east, I believe.
That was Millock Haven at the end.
That's the one. Yeah.
So yeah, I knew you will know exactly where that is. So here you go.
I recognise it from Saddle's videos, actually. Yeah, nice part of the world. Do you come down here a lot? Do you on tours or?
Yeah. Well, that's what I prefer actually. I quite often I don't ride a lot locally because I found it boring. Because every single time I'm on the bike, I want to go like disappear for 3-4 weeks going somewhere. So that for me, when I'm on the motorcycle, I want to go and not to go back. So just like short bimbles for 2 hours, 3 hours I find it sometimes boring, and I don't want to do it.
I know what you mean.
So where's local to you?
What's local? Well, you mean what you mean? Do you are you asking where do I live right now, or what do I think is
local area? I don't need your address.
Well, I live in Coventry, so generally speaking, Midlands.
Okay.
And what's local, what I think is close to home, is like everything within proximity of 100 miles. I would say it's too close.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I must admit, when I went to the ABR festival, where I live, obviously Exeter, I've got coast, pretty close, really. I'm very, very lucky where I live. I've got Exmouth and Dawlish, Teignmouth, Torquay, all of those are very easy to get to. And even Cornwall is just down the road, really. But when I went to the ABR festival, and I took my NC the first time that I went up there, pulled it out the van, went for a drive around. I couldn't find anywhere. And it's really strange feeling because I thought I'll just go on this road, go straight. I'm bound to hit a beach or a coast or something. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And that's a really quite a strange feeling for me. So you really need to know where to go if you're going inland somewhere, so.
That's true. And the ABR, is on my doorsteps almost. So.
Yeah. Have you been to the ABR?
Yeah, this year. Yeah, I went there.
Oh, cool. Are you going this? You going this year? Are you?
Well, I'm not sure about that yet because it's pretty expensive, I would say. Well, not really, really expensive. I don't mean it's not a fortune eventually. However, I can think of few better ideas of spending 100 quid.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's a bit of a, well, to be honest, it's the only time of year really that I kind of get away, really, from myself.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Even the problem I see there is that when you've been there once, the next time will be about the same because they've got same speakers. What was most important for me, I believe, on the whole ABR were the speakers. I wanted to meet and listen to a few people there.
Yes.
And I've checked this year, and same stuff.
Same thing, and normally the same speeches, isn't it? Same.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Answering the question on the screen, I've been in Matlock a few times. Yes, sure, absolutely.
Yeah. What speakers did you like to watch or listen to at the ABR?
Well, this year, and the first person I wanted to speak to was the Elspeth Beard.
Oh, yes.
And also right now, there was another, Jesus, what's his name? I've got a problem with names. That's
right. Sam Manicom.
Ryan F9 this year. He was
brilliant, wasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
He's a real nice, genuine chap, actually, Ryan F9. Yeah.
Also, another person I wanted to see and listen to was Nick Sanders.
Oh, yes. Sam Manicom. Have you heard of him? Sam Manicom?
Can't think about him. No.
That's all right. Yeah. But it is very good. The ABR is fantastic. If you like that sort of thing, like one of our friends, Quinn Peaks Rider, I mean, he'd be in his element up there because literally every adventure traveler is there, aren't they? Sidecar guys. Who else is there? I forgot, I've gone blank myself now, but
Same happened to me. No worries.
Yeah, but it is really good for that. I mean, for me, I like watching a few of those. I like Ryan F9, and I listen to.
I heard you're a big fan of TMF, expert, and I think he's going to be there this year, so you should go.
Oh, is he? Oh, good. Oh, good. I'll like that. Yeah, I'm sure we can meet loads of time. And but yeah, no, it is a really good show though, and I really enjoyed it. Certainly I went in 2021 as well, and I mean it's basically doubled in size, last year. So this year should be even more interesting, and I really enjoy it. I really do enjoy it. I thought I'm surprised more.
I've never been. I'm thinking about going this year.
Oh yeah.
I like to meet up. Obviously, if you're going, that's one. And I think Hippo Jones usually goes, so I love meeting up with him. He's really fun.
Yeah,
yeah.
Chronicles of Mr. Fish. He goes, John.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've met him last time. Yeah. Hippo Drones. Yeah, he was there as well, Pete. Yeah.
Yeah. Ben King, Traveller. I don't know if you know him, but he was a traveller. He's not any. He's got a bit quiet on that front at the moment. But yeah, everybody's up there, aren't they?
Yeah, loads of people. That's true.
Yeah. But no, I really enjoy it. Like I say,
it's definitely worth going. At least once, and
yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, but is it one of those that if you've been once, you've been to all of them? Is what you're saying?
Yeah, a bit.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I think the ABR seems to have more than what a lot of the other places do. I personally think, because you get all
compared to the other rallies, that's for sure. That there is many more things happening there. So there is always something to do. That's for certain. Because on the other rallies in the UK, it could be pretty boring through the day. Like all the attractions are the band during the evening, few beers, and that's about it.
Yeah. I've always said I know a lot of people go up for the talks and that. For me, I can listen to a couple of them, but I'll get a bit bored. But I like trying the bikes as well. I mean, that's what I do anyway, isn't it? But I you can basically ride anything up there, can't you? Everything and anything is up there. Yeah. So that's what I enjoy about it. And so right, going back to history again. What's this here? Is that the one? Sorry about the quality, by the way. It's just the way that the program.
Yeah, that's the bike I was building. That's basically a Triumph Bonneville America engine, which I bought in the UK back in the days. I was still living in Poland. I came to the UK. I bought this engine, brought it back. Then I built the frame. The frame is handmade by me. The rear swing arm is, I don't remember where does it come from. Then the shock absorbers are from Russian Ural, but they are shortened. Front suspension was the Honda XL, I believe. Yeah, and all the parts are coming from, I don't remember exactly what, but yeah, the frame, I was proud that I built that frame, and it was pretty good.
Very good. When you say that from the Honda XL, what I thought the XL was a 125.
No, that actual suspension, the front forks were from XL 500, I believe. Right. They've got up to 600, XL 600R. Yeah, that was the biggest one, I think.
Oh, yeah. How long did that take you to build that then?
Up to that stage, I believe that was one winter. But then actually I switched my job to photography, and I had not enough time to do that anymore. So basically it ended up, I swapped it for the car, which was a stupid idea. So I'd never finished that.
Oh, did you not? Right. So you sold it as a project, did you? To somebody else? Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, you're a clever chap then. You know what you're doing, don't you? If you can build something like that, then it's cool.
It wasn't that difficult, to be honest, but hey.
It looks difficult to me. I wouldn't know where to start.
Well, initially, I think it does when you look at it and you're thinking, building a frame is so complicated. It's not actually, but yeah, you need to know a few basic things about, mechanics and all that stuff. That's
and welding.
Sure. Yeah. If you want to make it safe, that's for sure.
Yes. Yeah.
If you want to, if you just want to make a show bike, then that's not an issue, right?
Yeah.
But if you want to ride it, yeah.
Yeah,
It's better
I've got
to
a
know.
mate in Cornwall that does welding, so I'll probably just send it down to him anyway. So he knows his stuff on that. Saddle. Yeah, so you've gone over to photography, so that's your day job then, is it?
Yes, exactly. I'm just right now working as a retoucher, which is basically the guy who is fixing things in Photoshop.
Oh yes,
So
right, yeah. That's a difficult business these days, isn't it? Photography.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's got to be quite lucky to get a what's the word? To get in with the right people that want to invest in you.
I would say it's almost impossible nowadays. So yeah, if someone wants to start in that territory, I would say no, avoid it.
Yeah, my brother
was a
done it
good business,
for
yeah.
10 years. He had a business. He had a big studio. He had a lot of big contracts, and with COVID and that, it just had to wind up in the end. But doing what I do now with the YouTube thing, I really appreciate how difficult it can be, because sometimes you had to get people together for interviews, for example, and getting lots of different people. You don't really want to do the interviews, getting them in one place. You've got 20 minutes of their time and they're off again. The stress would be too much for me. I wouldn't want to do it. I've pulled some photos from your Insta. Are you okay?
Yeah,
I think
sure,
you said you was all right with that.
Go
But
on.
yeah, I've got to be careful which one I choose, because they're a little bit on the edge, aren't they? And I like my YouTube channel, so no, I won't do that one. I've got to pick which ones now. So now, I noticed on some of your descriptions, you described, what's the word? You said it was former pan, 8x10 former pan. What's that mean?
Yeah, the 8 on 10 inches is the actual size of the film I was using to shoot that.
I see.
So most of the photographers are using, and most of the cameras were basically called small format, which was 36 millimeters film,
Right.
which is the size of the box of the matches. But this film was like almost the A4.
Oh yes.
So
yeah,
it's rather big, and 8 on 10 inches. It's single shot film.
And what's X-ray film mean? What's
X-ray
that mean?
is simply X-ray. Sometimes I'm using this technique, and I was one of the first people who were using that technique quite a few years ago. I started that. Someone mentioned to me that actually you can use typical X-ray film, which you can take from your doctor or vet.
Oh yeah.
And you can develop it in specific chemicals, and you can use it as a negative film.
Oh,
so
I see.
I practiced that, and I kind of mastered it, if you can say so. Sometimes, yeah.
So what does that give you?
Yes, say it again.
What does that give you that other film doesn't, if you use X-ray film?
Well, first of all, that film, as you can imagine, such a big film is expensive. That's the one thing. And X-ray was cheaper, so that was good to practicing things. But also, what is different, and it can give you some special mood of the picture, it's only sensitive to blue or green light. So let's say it's hard to imagine, because typical camera nowadays, more typical modern camera, is basically capturing RGB signal, right? Red, green, blue. So you've got the full spectrum of the light. So everything looks more or less natural.
Yeah.
But let's say if someone has got blue eyes, then those eyes will be really bright on the picture, which is sensitive only to blue.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Or let's imagine. Well, actually, I said it wrong, because it's a negative, so it will be the opposite. So the blue eyes will be really dark, while let's say if someone has got blue tattoo on the skin, it will be almost invisible.
Yeah.
So it's really weird, but people looks kind of different on this sort of pictures.
Yeah. It's got. I mean, I don't know what I'm looking at, but there's something about the photos which have, they capture you, don't they? They come to life with you. I'm going to show you a few others which are a little bit close to the edge, but it's
fantastic. So still using film, still using the sort of big field cameras as well, I suppose.
Yeah.
Wow. with all of the movements, so you can do all of the perspective and stuff. That's really fantastic.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
It's clever stuff. Yeah. I think sometimes you can know too much, can't you? Because I know that with my photos, like the one that I've got behind me here, you probably look at that and think, oh, I could do so much better with that shot. But as an amateur, I don't know any difference. So to me, it looks all right. But
to be honest with you, I'm not thinking much about this sort of pictures. Sorry.
No, it's all right.
It's like,
right.
okay, it's just an
no
image.
Taken, believe me. No offense.
Well, to be honest, actually, I don't think about photography much nowadays. I think it's like only sometimes, just rarely, I see something interesting and then I'm saying, oh, it's really cool. Other than that, it's like, okay, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think it's happening when you've got too much of something and it's this overload and you see loads of good pictures. And when I was really involved with the photography, I was watching constantly plenty of albums, pictures of everything. So yeah, there was a bit of overload at some point, and now it's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So when you go on your bike tours, then do you take a camera? Do you take like a DSLR or just a phone camera, or what would you photograph?
I'm just taking DSLR. Well, not DSLR. I've got something. Okay, I'll show that to you. Yeah, something like that. So small Sony, mirrorless camera with interchangeable lenses, and yeah, that works rather well. And that's about it. Because I don't have time to do many pictures on my bike trip. I just want to ride a bike, and that's most important thing. Second thing is I don't have much space in my luggage. I would love to take bigger camera, but no way. I've got a plan, however. I hope that I will finish maybe this year. I hope so. I will finish the Harley, which I've got, and I want to attach the sidecar to it. And when I will do that, yes, I will take that big camera with me on one trip. So I will have it in a sidecar, basically.
Excellent.
That sounds great. And what stage is the sidecar at the moment in the Harley then? Have you made the sidecar yet? Or
well, the sidecar is in the garage because I had it attached a few years ago to my Kawasaki W800, which I got. So I was just using it, except it looks rather nasty because it needs to be repainted and all that stuff. And Harley was rideable as well. I just need to fix a few things, like I need to replace the tires, and I need to have time and money also to insure it and all that nonsense. Yeah.
So a long ways to go.
So not much work, but it's difficult when you've got 5 bikes in a garage and each one requires something. And my garage is rather small.
Yeah. You know what that's like, Saddle, don't you?
Yeah.
And when you go for your trips away, are you doing a lot of touring? Do you go for like a week at a time or just a few days? Or
usually I'm trying to do one longer trip once a year, like at least 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So that's the shortest. And I'm trying to target something like 3 weeks. That's the optimum for the longer trip, I think. And then I'm doing a few shorter trips, like 10 days or something. Well, 9 days, because if you can take 5 days off work, then you've got 9 days, basically starting Friday till Sunday. You've got 9 days. So I'm usually doing one longer and 2 or 3 shorter. Yeah.
So whereabouts would you like to go this year, if you can? Where's your bucket list destinations?
Well, I've got few ideas, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm thinking about, well, first of all, a friend of mine asked me to go to Turkey. But actually, I found out that even a month of work is not enough to go there. I mean properly, because if you want to jump on the motorway and just go and be there in 2 days, then it's doable. However, it's just nonsense, right? Because you will add 5,000 miles of a mileage to your bike and you will see nothing. So reasonably speaking, you need a month. And month is just enough just to touch Turkey, going from here, from the UK. There is another option I was thinking about it, maybe take the car, put the bike on a trailer, go there. It would be slightly easier. Then maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks would be enough. but I prefer to be on my bike. And
there are some companies that will like courier your bike for you, like by truck, and then you just fly and get there.
I heard about it, but then there is you need more money to do that. Obviously, that's one thing, and also another thing is that I'm a weird person. I want to ride my own bike and to get to the place on my own bike. And I don't even like to rent a bike. I like to do it on my own. Somehow I feel it's more valid when I do it. I don't know. It's stupid, I know. However,
no, it makes sense. Actually, I'm sure we can all understand that, can't we? Well, I do.
Yeah. 100%.
So eventually I quit that plan, and I'm considering few others, and one of that being Croatia and Italy maybe as well, maybe Greece. I don't know. We will see.
I'd like to do Italy.
Yeah,
That's
Italy
lovely,
sounds pretty cool. Yeah, twice in recent years I did Spain. So let's say I've got enough of Spain for a second. Well, maybe I said too much because I don't have enough of it. You cannot have enough of Spain. It's so big, massive, and so many things to see. However, it's all similar-ish. So, yeah, I would rather go this year somewhere else. I was also considering Norway, but I'm thinking that my budget won't allow me to do that this year. Because Norway can be quite expensive.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah, so much we all want to do, and it all comes down to time and money, doesn't it? That old nutshell.
Yeah, same problems.
Yeah.
But
we all get depressed about it.
Well, it's always a question about priorities, obviously. You can do whatever you want if you've got, if you don't have family, if you don't have any other problems in your life, then it's rather easy. But yeah, well,
yeah.
Most
and keeping the I mean, if you're self-employed, you've got to keep the wheels of business spinning as well, haven't you? As soon as you stop that, then it's downward slide, really. Can you answer Curious Goose's question there? Down the bottom, Canon EOS M. Was that what camera you held up there, Uncle?
No. The camera I had was the Sony 5100. But yeah, Sony EOS M is good camera, I think.
Yeah.
But the one was hold on. Will it be visible? Sony.
No, he's only watching in 360, so I already told him.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Saddle, you were going to go to Spain at one point, weren't you? But
yeah, we had a big tour planned that was scuppered by COVID. So,
yeah,
and I kind of lost nearly 400 quid on a ferry deposit.
Oh, did you? Oh,
yeah. Yeah, a lot of money and time preparing for it, and now I'm a bit reluctant to start again.
Yeah, just go on your bike. Ferry is just a waste of time.
I was going to say.
Was that the ferry?
Two ways you probably need to spend like 500 quid, and that 500 quid you can spend on beer and hotels and whatnot in France, which is rather fun.
Yeah.
Except the area around the ferry. I mean, first 300 miles is really boring in France, but then after 300 miles is starting to be really interesting, I would say.
Yeah. I had this thing this year where I wanted to go around the UK. I've got a map over there of all the places I'd like to go with little flags in there, and I didn't get any further than Torquay, 30 miles away from me. Because again, in the summertime is when I get all the bikes, and I don't want to turn them down because obviously my channel depends on getting the bikes, really. So, it just didn't happen. But oh well, see what happens this year.
Yeah, well, it's a good destination. There's actually that's really good about the UK. There's plenty of good roads in this country. So, yeah,
definitely, yeah. How about you, Adam? You wanted to do any touring? Or
I want to go to North Wales this year.
Snowdonia and all that.
Yeah. But that's what I've got planned at the moment, and that's loosely planned. I basically just want to go. I haven't planned anything. I don't know when. So,
just hopefully. At the drop of a hat, then get a couple of days free and off you go.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. How about you, Neeb? You get around a bit, don't you, around the country?
Not really. I do I have a couple of trips planned, but first I got to say I always really enjoy watching Uncle Longbeard's trips and series. I agree, and I try to do a little bit of copying with the editing sometimes of just before the corner in the corner, kind of a copy that from him. I don't do it nearly as well. I want to do. I've got plans to do Wales in mid-May. I'm sure it's going to be dry, and I've got plans to go to France in August.
Oh yeah. Oh,
a week at a time on those. Yeah, for Wales, I think I've already got in touch with a few people, Craggy Lynn and Lady J Rider and Grumps Rides. So maybe we'll meet up, and some others, and maybe we'll meet up at some point. So that should be cool to kind of meet people in person.
Yeah,
and I might even swing by and on the backside of it and do a little bit of West Country as well if you guys are up for it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I'll make room for that. Go from South Wales up 3 to the north. Yeah, great work. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Craggy Lynn will give you a good tour.
Absolutely. What I had done is I think I had downloaded one of those ride routes and stuff, and I kind of adjusted it. So I'm sure that it would be my first time in Wales, believe it or not. I'm sure people have ideas of some of the roads that are better than the ones I'm picking, but I just have to go again, I guess.
Yeah.
So much to see, isn't there? Just in this country, you don't really have to go abroad.
Even near me, I'm always discovering some new road or some additional route. You go out with people who are leading rides and stuff with our group, and you're always like, "Oh, I didn't know about this place," and that's really cool. Or you go out and meet at the Super Sausage with Rev Bomb or Uncle Red or Rhythmic, and they take you around and show you some new locations as well. Fantastic.
Yeah, and if you get an off-road bike, you see a whole new world.
That as well.
I found out recently.
I take my Himalayan off road.
Yeah, get the right tires on it, and you're off, aren't you? You'll be away.
Uncle,
if you
need some skills.
Off-roading?
No, not really. Last time I tried, I actually almost broke my finger. So yeah, it was almost instant fail. So I'm not good at roading. I'm rather trying to stick to the tarmac.
Yeah. That's fair
enough. Well, I'm just saying, however, yeah, I was thinking about it, but yeah, I'm absolutely rubbish in off-roading, so that's another story.
Yeah, well, it takes practice, doesn't it? Yeah, at the end of the day, you need to do a bit of it just to get into it, don't you? Yeah, I mean, when I went on the Angel Steps to Saddle, I was rusty as anything. It's quite shameful, really, looking back at the videos with my little legs hanging out, going up the. Right, let's have a look at my list. Let's just double check that I've got everything. Anyone got any questions for Uncle? Are you all good?
I think you've covered them. You coming back down to Cornwall this year?
You should stop in Devon, where it's better.
I'm going to say once is enough down Cornwall.
Yeah, stop in North Devon.
To be honest, I was there twice already in recent 3 years or something.
Right.
I'm thinking that, if only I could, I would rather go north. I don't want to offend Cornwall. However, it's a bit more interesting up north.
That's fair enough.
Especially that I was born on the seaside, so I find actually the sea not attractive, really.
I've never heard anyone say that.
Yeah, I would rather, stick to the mountains somewhere far away from the sea. And
yeah, no, that's fair enough. What else was I going to say? I think that's pretty much it, really, isn't it? Okay, how long we've been on for? Hour? Yeah, that'll do, won't it? One last question I did have for you, actually. Color correction in videos. How do you know what? I mean, for me, I'll put a video up, green screen, blue's blue. How do you get that right to a professional standard? What are you looking for? I have no idea.
I don't know.
No. I know some of yours have got like a radiant color to them, haven't they? some of your videos?
You know what I'm trying usually to do? I know what sort of feeling I had when I was in the place. And I'm trying to replicate that mood, because obviously all the images we are looking at the paper or at the screen, they are 2-dimensional, and the world is 3-dimensional. So usually what's happening when you are in some place, you are thinking, oh, this is beautiful. Then you are looking at the footage or just the picture, and you are saying, oh, you can see that beauty here. So I'm trying to replicate it. And obviously you can't replicate 3 dimensions. You can't replicate how it really looked like. But you can somehow make it better, and you can increase some colors. You can increase the saturation here and there, contrast here and there, and then someone is watching it and saying, "Oh, that looks good." So yeah, I'm trying to give that mood when you are in some place and you are seeing something and saying, "Ooh." And then, of course, I'm basically adding a contrast, and I'm trying to make things a bit more pleasant. Because usually the footage doesn't look that good as the nature. Yeah, that's quite common when you are coming back from the trip and you filmed something and you are looking at the footage and saying, it actually looks pretty rubbish, right? Because it looked really nice in real life, but you are looking at the colors and everything and it looked bland.
Yeah. Or you get dark patches and shady patches and things like that.
Yeah, and then because I'm working in the Photoshop and colors, it's a normal thing to do for me, and it's rather easy. So yeah, so I'm basically taking the footage in the decine-like profile or flat profile in GoPro, depends how they called it in the camera. And basically, what it is, it's actually image without a contrast and saturation. So you can add that saturation and contrast later on. And when you are adding a contrast and saturation to the pictures, you can increase just certain colors. You can decrease the level of the other colors. And yeah.
Okay. So and what's the idea behind overdubbing the voice on the videos as opposed to having a mic on you at the time? Do you just prefer the better sound and just rather record something? And
usually when I'm talking about something, I'm here and there, I'm missing words, especially when I'm enthusiastic about something.
Right.
And because it's not my mother's tongue, obviously, sometimes here and there I'm missing words. And if you would listen to me speaking longer, it's sometimes quite often happening that I'm saying like and I want to say something and then and nothing is happening.
I think we all do that to an extent, don't we?
Yeah, but when I try to record myself normal motovlog way, for me it sounded terrible, absolutely terrible. So I decided, okay, it will be better to record it later on. So even if I'm missing some words and things like that, I can record it later on. I can even open the book to learn before. So I think it sounded a bit better. And eventually I found it rather cool that because you can add some information later on, and it seems to be a good idea, I suppose.
I totally get it. I think it makes a lot of sense actually to overdub with your type of videos, trip videos, to do exactly what you're doing. Actually, it does make a lot of sense. I know you've done a bit of that, haven't you, Sado, on some of your videos? So you've overdubbed them, and it works really well.
A little bit, yeah.
Back along, you did a bit more, didn't you? Not so much. I suppose I'm thinking of rides through time, really.
Yeah, more the rides through time videos.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like you said, because you can gather the information sort of after the event and make more sense of it.
Yeah, I tried a few options because I tried also to do the voiceover with my mate Lucas, my riding mate. I'm quite often with him on the bikes.
That's the one on the Harley Davidson, right?
No. That's the Nell. That's the other mate. But anyway, before the one on the white Harley, not on the recent trip you were watching and referring to today, the previous trips. But anyway, the guy was with me on most of our trips, and we tried to do the double commentary. So he was saying something, I was replying to him, and all that stuff. And it was really cool, and I think it was quite funny, and it was really adding to the videos. However, it was so much work, so much that after one series of videos, after one trip, I said, "Oh bloody hell, no more, never again." It was basically additional a day per episode.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, is there anything you want to ask us, Uncle? Or I mean, I just want to make sure that I've covered everything. And anything you want to talk about, you all sorted, or
I'm not sure.
no?
I've got
like
emptiness in my brain right now.
That's fine. That's all right. Can I just thank you very much for coming along on the stream? I really
Thanks a lot,
appreciate
guys,
it.
for having me here.
Really good.
We love your videos. It's it's fantastic what you're pushing out there. It's
I like the channel name as well. But although somebody said I'm the one with the long beard here.
Yeah, well, that's my old nickname. However, to be honest with you, yeah, that's true. My beard is not quite long; it's just like that. So,
Uncle Medium Beard.
That's okay. You still qualify for beard clubs. That's all that matters.
I think we're all in the beard club, aren't we? At different levels at the end of the day. So
yeah.
But yeah, noobs definitely
Well, I
women.
don't know. I think you're stretching the truth a little bit there.
Well,
That's
about a year's growth for me. That is there. Yeah, but thanks for coming along, Uncle. Like I say, I'd really like your channel. It's actually Saddlebags that put me on to you originally, and yeah, I love the cuts that you do. I love the color correction. However you do that magic, I don't know. I've still got to learn how to do that, but it's great stuff that you're pushing out. So keep on it. All the guys in the side chat: Paul Egan, Curious Goose, German Jobbies, Rev Bomb. I think he's left now. Actually, Simon Gilbert, Love Review. All the people in the side chat. Thanks so much for coming along. And like I say, I'm normally get involved in the conversation, so it's a little bit hard to see what's going down in the side chat there. But thank you very much. Oh, Flat Cap Racer, enjoyed listening to it. I look forward to the next one. Thanks, Flat Cap, much appreciated. We have to get Flat Cap on at some point. He's an interesting bloke, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a star.
He's got some experience, hasn't he? In well, a bit of rich everything, really. Thanks, Philip, Kerry, for coming along as well. Very much appreciated. If you guys haven't hit the like button yet, if you could do that, it would help me a lot. I will be putting this onto a podcast. I've got 2 podcasts out there so far, which is available on Spotify and all the other main streams. So if you could have a look at that, that would be great. And this will also become a podcast as well. Like the video. Adam, thanks for coming along. I know you haven't been too well, mate. I can see that you...
Yeah, I'm struggling.
Yeah, you're struggling, but thanks so much, mate. And hopefully Phil will be in on the next one. Saddle Noob, as ever, thanks for helping me.
Can I just give a shout out to Uncle Red and thank you very much for the coaster.
There you go.
I know he was on the chat earlier on.
Yeah, I saw him pop in. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Jamie, for coming in as well. Hope you're feeling a bit better after the op there, mate. So maybe give it a couple of weeks or whatever, and then we'll do another one. Have a look, get down to Uncle Longbeard's channel. If you like what you see, drop him a subscribe. I'm sure he'll appreciate it. How many subscribers have you got at the moment? 1,200.
3,000 each.
Oh, 3,000, is it? Oh, great. Yeah, I don't know where I got 1,200 from, but there you go. 3,000. So you're doing something right anyway, aren't you? So that's great.
Oh,
guys, stay on the chat. I'm going to leave you to it. Thanks for everybody in the side chat. Thanks for everyone on the panel. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Bye.